900 athletes, 171 conference titles, 56 competitive teams, 17 national championships, all in one place.
Blue Nation brings you all of your Blugold sports action, from Carson Park
take it into the end zone
to the Sonnentag,
Splash Mountain,
across the street at Hobbs,
perfect chance here, shot and score,
and back up the hill to Bollinger,
2 scores,
McPhee,
Maya Cinnamon,
and Simpson.
The bicycle kid.
Live from inside our very own TV10 studios, your starting lineup of John McClain, Gary Barta, and the rest of your sports team. This is Blue Nation.
Welcome to Blue Nation. I'm your host and fresh off our intramural football Supermax contract, John McClain.
And I'm a man who speaks on the behalf of the entire state. I miss John Tonje already. Alec Olson, bringing you stats, scores, and more from the Blugolds and beyond.
On this week's installment, we will recap our top plays from the past 2 weeks in Blugold athletics.
And then our own Andrew Thaler will be accompanied by 4-time All-American Mason Shea to recap nationals, preview the outdoor season, and discuss his upbringing to the 715.
Finally, we will finalize today back at the big screen to talk March Madness, or lack thereof, in this year's big dance. Kicking us off to my right, the split short and Strava sergeant himself, Mr. Thaler, with a high note from indoor track and field nationals.
Starting on the oval, this time on the high jump mat, senior Wes Keller had the meat of his career, capping a new lifetime personal best out in upstate New York, to also land himself on the podium as one of the Division III's best high flyers. Keller cleared 2.08 meters, translate to 6 feet and 10 inches, as it was his all-time PR over the weekend. This also landed him on the podium for the first time in his career, sitting at 5th place. Along with that, this was his 3rd consecutive year collecting all-region honors, but the first time indoors. Keller's looking to carry this positive momentum into outdoors, as the outdoor season is just 1 weekend away for the UWEC Blugolds.
And it's really a good moment for Wes as well to see him jump that high, especially jumping a lifetime best at one of the biggest stages of the year out in Rochester. But staying in Rochester, the theme of nationals is still ever present on our show today, as one of 2 national champions over the break came from a different circle, this time in the shot put ring. Senior Adam Strofe heaved his way to the top of the podium at the Indoor Track and Field Championships out in Rochester, New York. On his second-to-last attempt, Strofe launched a PR of 18.35 meters, or 60 feet and 2 inches, to secure himself the outright shot put title. The former Auburn Tiger and Indiana Hoosier wins his first national title of his career, now making it back-to-back appearances on the podium indoors for the blue and gold. The All-American nods didn't stop there, as Emily Booker also took home bronze in the pentathlon. Joining Keller in 5th position was Tegan Jones in the weight throw, and her and Kayla Benke placing 7th, landing 3 total throw squad members in scoring positions. Rounding out the competition over the weekend, the women's 4x400 meter relay of Grabarski, Cruz, Kakis, and Cinemo came in 7th, with a time of 3 minutes and 49.94 seconds. The Golds shift their focus to the great outdoors as they'll lead off the spring season next weekend, April 5th, down south at La Crosse for the Ashton May Invitational. And again, this is without some of their national champions, Mitch Stegman and Jacob Okoye, in their national scoring positions as well. But shifting over to yet another national tournament, Alec, what do we got on the ice this week?
You know, taking to the ice for one last time this season, the Blugolds were back in the NCAA tournament for the first time in 12 years, hitting the road against the Spartans of Aurora in the first round. They had their work cut out for them, though, and in the 3rd period, Leo Bacala finally got the Golds on the board. After falling behind 2-0 late in the 3rd, Bacala decided to spark a rally for the Blugolds, trying to will their way into the quarterfinals after this shot slips past the keeper and the passionate celebration followed. Only down 1 goal with time slowly ticking away in the Spartans' favor. Unfortunately for Eau Claire, the buzzer beater would sound, leaving them 1 goal short on the scoreboard as Aurora advances on a score of 3-2. Jaden Reamer pulled 1 back, but it was already too late as 3 goals already were buried behind the nylon for the home squad. That's the end of the line for a historic Eau Claire season as it stands, as Aurora would only reach the next round to be eliminated by Sonny Genizo 7-4 to punch their ticket to the Frozen Four later this weekend.
And again, talking about how ecstatic this season has been and how historic it has been being in the national tournament for the first time in 12 years. But Aiden, what do you got for us coming from Jared Stricker at Nationals this weekend?
Keeping with our theme of nationals, our second champion for Eau Claire in the meantime was none other than Jared Stricker, who went on to win back-to-back national titles at the 174-pound weight class this past weekend. Stricker faced Alvernia's Nathan Lackman in the finals, but made easy work of the championship bout, claiming a victory in a 7-1 final score. This win now marks the first time in school history that a Blugold wrestler has won consecutive national titles. This also closes a 4-for-4 streak of attending NCAAs and a trifecta of All-American nods, as well as closing the chapter with 71 straight wins at the very end. His total record of 169-16 is also a conference record in all-time wins. Stricker was joined in All-American status by his teammate in the 197-pound weight class, Ian Pebble. He finished the tournament on the podium in 6th position, capping a sensational season for the sophomore, closing his second campaign with a 37-14 record, a conference title, as well as a program record of his own in the new university high of 25 pins in a single year.
And what do you make of that sensational wrestling season, Aiden, coming out with an undefeated national title and now being back-to-back for Stricker? What do you think New Heights will take for this program now?
I mean, it can only mean good things. You know, you got Coach Fader in the room. He's proven himself worthy of being an elite coach, having this back-to-back national champ, multiple All-Americans for the past couple seasons. I wouldn't see why anyone wouldn't want to come here.
Most certainly. But when we come back, more track talk is to ensue with Mason Shea joining us on the show to give us some more insight on his experiences on and off the track. You're watching Blue Nation right here on TV 10.
B5.
Well, I got a 7, so +2.
This doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, we should probably read the directions next time.
Probably. You know what does make sense? Game show. Hi, I'm Abe.
And I'm Somerset.
We're the host of Game Show.
If you want to see us play more games like this, or Jeopardy!
Or The Price is Right.
Check us out on mytv10.uwec.edu.
And if you ever want to be in one of our episodes, make sure to scan the QR code somewhere on the screen. Peace.
Welcome back to Blue Nation here tonight. I'm Andrew Thaler. Joining us in studio is 4-time All-American, fresh off the plane from Rochester and Indoor Nationals, and my fellow distance squad teammate for the Blue and Gold, Mason Shea. How's it going tonight, Mason?
Doing good. Yeah, thank you for having me.
Oh, for sure. We're going to get right into it. So, you graduated from River Falls High School in 2020 as a very accomplished runner, but throughout middle school, you really didn't put much focus on running. So what other sports did you focus on, and how did you get to running?
Yeah, back when I started, I feel like your basic kid. Football, baseball, basketball were like the big three. Loved football, actually. I would have done that in high school if I got bigger, but I started high school at like 5 flat, 80 pounds, so wasn't big enough to make the cut. And we had our high school cross-country coach was a middle school teacher, and for years she tried to recruit me to run because I ran track in in middle school as well. So yeah, I finally showed up to a couple of the captain's practices in the summer, and then the rest is history.
Oh yeah, I mean, there's that famous photo of you out there in that football jersey. So I mean, football was out there. There's a chance he could have been on the football roster here and starring for our football team as the tight end. But seeing that your stepdad Eric was a runner at Vermilion Community College, if I said that right, what influence did he have on your running career?
Early on, he always talked about running. He ran for a couple years in high school and then went to a community school up in northern Minnesota to run. And he always loved running but kind of fell out of it when he was an adult. And so I think seeing me get back into track and then joining cross country early high school, he was really supportive in that. And then, yeah, I ran my first half marathon 8th grade with him because he just wanted to train for one. So we did that together. So he's been there every step of the way for my running journey so far.
Yeah, don't you still do marathons and everything with him now?
Yeah, we're actually heading back up to Duluth this summer, and I'm going to pace him at the Grandma's Marathon, so I'm really looking forward to that.
And then you're going to win that, right?
No, I'll win the 5K the night before.
Yeah. Okay, graduating high school as a many-time state runner, a team captain, and PRs through the roof, you had your pick at the litter when it came to colleges, but you came to Eau Claire. What was the biggest reason or reasons for your choice of Eau Claire? Yeah,
I ran at the cross-country camp here in high school all 4 years and just got a really good connection with Dan and the rest of the team. Really liked the program he had here. And then on top of that, the university as a whole is a great school. I wanted to do actuarial science right off the bat, and so they had a really good actuarial science program that I was interested in. And then my grandparents lived in Eau Claire, so I'd come here a lot as a kid, and good memories here. So.
Yeah, and then now you're on your 5th year now, and you've been doing as many of the minors or certificates that you can at this point. So you have like 5 now.
I just keep tacking them on. I gotta use up all the eligibility somehow.
Well, yeah, that's what I'm going to do with that COVID eligibility. But being a part of the 2021 cross country national team as just a freshman eligibility, how did you use that experience for the future of your running career at Eau Claire?
I think being on the national stage so early in my career was really beneficial, just because I got to see what it takes to get a team there and all the hard work it requires, and that kind of set the stage for me. So I was there as a freshman. It was, okay, you're going to get there as a sophomore, get there as a junior, get there as a senior. And so, yeah, I think seeing the team around, like getting there to the national stage was really beneficial.
Yeah, and you ran great there. You also had other teammates who are now coaches there in Dolan, and you've had all these other teammates that you have now grown up through, and that's got to be such a great influence that now you can bring on to your teammates and that you can just use for what you have done now at the national stage.
Yeah, exactly. You see the captains when I was a freshman and sophomore, and you kind of emulate what they do well and try to install that in the next year's classes.
Yeah, and for sure. And then now we're transferring over to the track here, and some could say you're even more accomplished, being a many-time national qualifier and an All-American in the steeple and indoor mile. It shows that you're very talented at these shorter events, even though you star in the AK. How have you been able to make that true?
I've always joked with the coach about being a fraud in the mile. Like, I'm more of a long-distance guy. I don't really have the stockier build like more of those mid-D guys, but yeah, I don't know. I just kind of play into my strengths. I think I race well. I feel like I'm a pretty gritty racer, so. Yeah.
Well, yeah. If you look at, you're the school record holder in the indoor mile. That's got to be such an accomplishment there. You're the school record holder in the steeplechase. You have shown that you have this ability to run these shorter distances off the 8K. You're no fraud. If you look at that, yeah. But you have been a team captain for UWXC. Obviously, you were a team captain in high school, but a team captain for the XC team, the track teams, many times. What do you bring to the table as a captain? How do you think it positively influences your new teammates?
I don't think I'm a super outspoken guy. Obviously with your brother Joey, he was very talkative and kind of lead by voice, but I kind of tried to take a more lead by example approach. So just do all the right things and then have success with it, and I hope that makes others want to accomplish what I do. And so I think building a good rapport with the younger generations, and then kind of showing them how to do it and what it can lead you to, and then getting them excited about doing the same.
Yeah, I know every single time we're in the meetings or anything, and Dan says, we need someone to help with the recruit, you're the first one to raise your hand. You're always like, if I'm available, I can do it. It really shows. And you're also the type of guy that leads by example. If I can do it, you can do it too type of guy.
Yeah, I want to lead the program better than how I came in, so that's the mindset I go at it with.
And then, what has helped you battle back from your history of lingering injuries? Because you've obviously had these little injuries that have sprinkled out through your career. What has helped you come back, and how have you came back even better?
I think my biggest injury was sophomore year. I broke my foot, and that kind of took me out for the entire indoor season. I had a pretty mediocre outdoor season that year. So I think right away I kind of had the discussion with myself, is this something I want to continue? I could throw in the towel pretty easily right now, but I kind of went through the process of the cross training and the grieving of not being able to race, and I kind of realized how much it meant to me to race. And so every time now I get a nagging injury or something like that, it's what can I do to nip this in the bud as fast as I can and then get back to the track or the course.
And that's one of the best mindsets you can have. I personally never myself battled through a terrible injury, but when you get these pains in races, you get these pains in these injuries, and you're able to go, no, I want this more. And for you to have that, it shows with you being an All-American, school record holder, all that. To be able to do that, it's insane, and it's very, very accomplished from you.
Thank you.
And this 2024 season for cross country was big for the UW Eau Claire men's team, making nationals for the first time since 2021 as a team. You have been nationals the last 2 years as an individual, but now you have the team there again. Where were you when you received the news, and what was the team going back, and what was your headspace? In that moment?
The goal has always been to get to nationals as a team. Obviously, go to nationals is the main goal, but being there with the team is so much more meaningful than being there as an individual. And back when regionals in St. Olaf a couple years ago, people say we were kind of snubbed of a spot, and I agree with that. Like, that stung that we didn't go there. So the main goal of this 5th year was get back to the national stage with the team. And I think a lot of the 5th years, we had, I think, 5 or 6 5th years on the team at the point who wanted to get 2 nationals as a team. And so we went to watch the selection show at one of the junior guys' cross house, and I remember just being so relieved when I saw it, like just filled with joy, because I knew it'd be back to like freshman year going with the team instead of by myself.
Yeah, and I mean, just bringing the team back there and running at nationals with the entire team, I mean, it had to be such a mental boost for you guys, and to look into indoor and outdoor. I mean, and how does that help you for looking forward for the next couple of seasons for this team? Obviously, you're not going to be on the team, but how does that impact help you for the future of the team?
I'm really excited about it because we have a lot of freshmen on the team right now, and I think, like I was saying earlier, back when I was a freshman, being able to see what the team can accomplish and how to do it, I think all of them now understand what it takes, and the standard has been set at nationals instead of for just trying to perform well during the regular season. So I'm really looking forward to the progression the next few years. I think we can be a very good team.
And then our last question here: what teammates and our coaches for Eau Claire have really pushed you to be the best runner, and why is that?
Coach-wise, I think teammate for me for a while was Connor Dolan, but now he's a coach. He's a very brutally honest person, and it takes a lot to impress him. So I think he'll never lie to you. Like, he'll rambling. Sorry. Tells the truth about everything. So if you go to him with problems, like he'll be straight up, and I think having that was really helpful. And then pushing me physically, Sam Vakirky, roommate for 3 years. He won a national title here in the 15. He kind of always is he's always been a little bit better than me in like the shorter distances and stuff like that. So having someone to train with and really push me that way has been really helpful.
Yeah, I mean, I remember Coach Dan always saying that you guys were competitive in the wrong way, and now you guys have figured out to be competitive in the right way, and you guys have pushed each other to be the best.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, after this quick message from Hanfield, we'll return to the board to have a little bracket breakdown of how March Madness has shaken out heading into the Sweet 16 and further this weekend. For Blue Nation, I'm Andrew Thaler. Don't go anywhere.
I don't know.
Did you read the instructions before doing this?
No, I never knew.
I think with it stating desk. I didn't bring water or anything. Right. I was gonna bring milk. I forgot.
Another competitor has entered the stage.
This wasn't planned at all. Don't miss out on the fun. Tune in to Handful on My TV 10.
Welcome to our third and final segment here tonight on Blue Nation, where myself and the guys look at the bigger picture and after our beloved Badgers got bounced by the Cougars of BYU.
Looking at the tournament, we'll just go from left to right here, go south, east, west, and finally ending in the Midwest. Starting off, this first 8-9 matchup right here, Louisville-Creighton. My personal pick, Creighton was far and away the easy pick. A lot of people picked Louisville. They were playing in Lexington. It seemed like a lock. They got locked out of the tournament. Creighton went on to the round of 32 and then fell to 1 seed Auburn in the round of 32 going into the Sweet 16. Did you guys have this sort of projected up here in your bracket right away?
You know, I had it a little bit different. I had Louisville moving on. I did kind of take into account the Chucky Hepburn. Still a little bit of love for him, former Badger. He did have a really good performance, but unfortunately they did get bounced, and I did have them losing to Auburn. Aiden, your thoughts?
Auburn's pretty good. So, I mean, I know I would have had them in the Sweet 16 had I had time to fill out the bracket. But, I'll be honest. When Creighton's in the bracket, I pick Creighton every time.
We got a man that didn't even fill out a bracket talking bracketology with us on the show.
Yeah,
you can tell.
I would have if I got, like, the text, like, hey, fill this out. But I didn't, so.
Check your phone next March. Anyway, looking at a little bit lower on the south side of the bracket, North Carolina playing very hot in their playing game, which a lot of people didn't really want them in the tournament to begin with. Absolutely running through San Diego State 95-68 in the play-in, and then immediately getting bounced by Ole Miss 71-64. And they're kind of on a run right now. I didn't think the Rebels would have that good of a play. Now coming down to Michigan State, they've kind of just been inevitable, as everyone has thought. New Mexico taking out Marquette. Shaka Smart's March woes continue with Marquette. I don't think he's won. I don't believe he hasn't won more than 2 games with Marquette in his tenure. But again, Michigan State, we kind of all saw this coming.
Yep. And real quick, want to bounce back up to the 5-12 matchup here. UC San Diego, one of what a lot of people thought would be another Cinderella story here. Really close game against Michigan in the blue, but that one came down to the wire. Michigan ended up moving on, beat Texas A&M. That should be another really good game against Auburn, as you know, Big Ten has kind of been pretty solid in this tournament.
Now shooting over to the east side of it, up here with Duke, Oregon, BYU, and Bama as well. What are we seeing there, Alec? What have you seen out of those games so far? And of course, aside from the heartbreaker of Tanjay pulling up, he went crazy in the game, but unfortunately not crazy enough.
Yeah, so unfortunately Wisconsin did get bounced by BYU, where I like to say I think TJ McConnell played, because I think he looks like he's a Mormon and went to BYU. But regardless, St. Mary's, Vanderbilt, another first round, very close game. They did end up getting bounced by Bama. Speaking of Alabama, their first round game against the 15 seed Robert Morris was a very close game in the first half. They slowly started etching the lead out, but that was another really close one where you thought Robert Morris could become another 15 seed Cinderella story.
Looking forward now into the Sweet 16, I might be the only part of this cast that wasn't mad about Wisconsin losing. Minnesota did pull the Colorado State coach, so I'm pretty hyped about that. But I'll fill out a bracket the next time the Gophers are in it, so it might be a couple decades. But going into the Sweet 16 here, the Duke-Arizona matchup, that's, I guess, what everyone wanted to see? I don't know. I mean, it's going to be tight, hopefully. Hopefully we don't see a 20-point game in the Sweet 16, but, you know, it'll happen.
Who knows? I will fly through the West and Midwest down here as well. Florida, again, steamrolling through my personal championship pick. Looking strong as ever against a very battle-tested Maryland team. Again, they faced a lot of heartbreak in recent times, but those have looked good. And the Midwest, Houston, again, rolling through. Purdue in the Sweet 16. A lot of people counted them out, but McNeese State, of course, the people's favorite, Mr. Ora himself, playing the manager, as well as Kentucky and Tennessee advancing, as a lot of people predicted. Guys, what do you make of this bottom half of the bracket?
You know, again, Florida is also my pick, so I do have them going all the way. A really tough game, I think, against a strong Big Ten team in Maryland. They lost the last few games of their regular season to heartbreak, but I hope that Florida can move on. And then in the Midwest here, very rarely do we see the 1, 2, 3, 4 make it to the Sweet 16. In the last, I think it was the 5 years, there has always been a double-digit seed, and there is not this year, which is a lot of shock. So, Aiden.
Yeah, to close out, I think coming out of the Midwest, if I had to pick a winner out of there, I'm going with Tennessee. I mean, looking at their games, it really hasn't been close. And, I mean, you look at Houston, too, they're the same way, but a little closer against Gonzaga. And then on the other side, I think Florida's got it. I mean, they've been playing so well. Coming in at 30-4 to start the tournament, they're a solid team.
That's all we have on the slate here tonight. Check us out and the rest of our content right here on mytv10.uwec.edu and on the YouTube channel, UWEC TV10.
The social media, still cool. UWEC TV10 on Instagram and TikTok.
From myself, Alec, Aiden, Andrew, and the rest of the crew, those inside the studio and out of it, we love and thank you for your time here tonight. For Blue Nation, I'm John McClain.
And I'm Alec Olson.
Saying good evening, and until next time.